One. Hey y'all, thank you for tuning in. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Brian Cedejo and I'm a visual storyteller based out of Miami, Florida. And for the past 4 months, I've had the privilege of working with Brian Kuse, who you see next to me, um, and to document his journey through the amateur MMA ranks, and it's been very impressive to see everything that he's gone through to get to where he is today. So, without further ado, Ryan, thank you for your time. And is there something you would like to tell the people that are watching right now? Introduce yourself.
What's up? I'm Ryan, the Third Street Savage Cuse. This, not, I don't really got nothing much to say. This was good, y'all.
So, what'd you think? I'm gonna do this interview a little bit different, right? So I'm obviously gonna ask you a lot about your career, but I also want to kind of get a sense of what it was like to make the film. So I hope that a little bit of commentary to start off with and throughout the interview will kind of help viewers once they do see the final documentary, which you're waiting for your first pro fight to record. So would you, when you saw this dude come up to the Goat Shed Academy out in Wynwood? Shout out to Goat Shed for allowing me to go and record. What'd you think when we embarked on this journey to document 4 months of your life?
I mean, I was low key a little bit hyped about it because I was working like I always wanted to do like a little mini documentary on my life or whatever what I've been through and stuff. So when you came through, I was like, oh shoot. And you asked for Austin. I'm like, oh shit, he don't want to do me. And then he said that you should do it on me. I was excited because I mean I want to have a legacy, and I want to be able to look back at times like this and be like, yo, I was fucking lit. Like that was me. Like so, it's just like gonna be a little like like a moment in my life that's gonna live on forever just because of this documentary. So I was excited about it.
Yeah, and it's been a crazy 4 months. We've been through a lot of ups and downs filming. But before we go into that, can we get a little bit of sense of where your career started? When did you decide like, yeah, I'm gonna be a pro fighter for the rest of my young adult life?
Um, the day I decided it, I don't even know how I really like just flipped the switch and just decided it. It just started off just by me training and training and just like getting good. And then once I realized, like, oh shoot, I'm like, a lot of people always tell me, like, yo, you're good enough to do it for real. And I'm just in my head, like, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. And then once I believed that what all these people were telling me was true, it just like was like a slow switch. And then once that switch happened, I just went all in. And then I basically just realized that anything you put all your time into and all your effort into, the universe and just everything will, the cards will play out to the point where you can do basically anything you want to do.
Now, from our initial conversations, you told me that it was a very humble beginning in the MMA world, a shed in Iowa. Am I correct?
Yeah, Iowa, yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about those crazy experiences?
Oh my god. I was like just a wild 18-year-old kid that just loved to fight people. Everybody that knows me, probably people that are on here know that I always love to fight people. And like I was in Iowa, middle of nowhere, nothing to do, rednecks everywhere. They're like we found a fight league that was in a barn, like where they do horse bull riding. So I was like, yo, sign me up. I did my first fight. I ended up winning without even training MMA, just wrestling. I ended up winning by rear naked choke, my only submission. That's weird. So I ended up winning by rear naked choke in the first round, but I just got addicted. I was like, yo, like it goes from like the emotions you go through in a fight is like the craziest drug you'll ever take in your life, but crazier. Like you go from being like scared for your life to the most adrenaline to like actually fighting to where you feel like a superhero, and then to winning where you get that glory of like you just beat somebody up in front of everybody and then everybody thinks you're the man. And it just after I got that one feeling, I got addicted to it. And I kind of when I got addicted to it, I thought I was like I rushed into it too quick. Fought another guy that was like I don't know, it's like 7-2, and I was like 1-0. I ended up losing by armbar, but when I came, when I left Iowa, I came back down here. I started like getting my tools together so that doesn't happen again.
So after Iowa, what made you decide this is the path I want to take? Mixed martial arts is how I want to make my living. It's what I want to do as a profession.
It was just like, all right, I didn't immediately start training when I left college. I started like doing the things I was doing before, like hooligan stuff, like drinking at 9 a.m. and like stuff like that. And then like remember what you're saying, like how I started like making my way, getting out of that was when instead of waking up, I don't got nothing to do, let me go crack open a beer. I was oh shoot, I wake up, oh I gotta be at training at 10. Boom, now I just change my just one bad habit, boom, change it to a good habit. And slowly but steadily, it started just changing my life. And then after I'll say I was down here for about a year or 2 years. So I met one of my friends, Rayon, which he put me onto this gym, Wagner Rocha's. And then that's when I started changing my life. Shout out to that boy.
So in the documentary, which again we hope to release soon, you have a very I think deep quote that it hit me when I was editing, and that's that a sport that a lot of people think is inhumane, it gave you an opportunity. And so, can you expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just everybody like everybody has like a purpose while they're on this earth, and like until you find that purpose, whether it's like it could be the most randomest thing ever. Like you could be like you could love ping pong, you could love painting, you could love whatever you like to do, you could love horses, it doesn't matter. If you find out what you love to do and you do it every day, now suddenly your life got purpose. And now you're not just living and like wandering everywhere. Now you like get to wake up and do what you love to do. And fortunately, what I love to do is inhumane, but I love it because I'm not your typical person that's like I don't like to follow the rules. So I can't do something where there's too many rules. Like my only rules are like no scratching, no biting, and no kicking in the nuts. And like I can't do all those rules and stuff. So I used to get in trouble back in the day. So now
Well,
this sport is like perfect for me.
right. I was about to say you're in the perfect sport. So a lot of people in the chat are immediately, saying Third Street, and that transition is perfect to where does the I guess nickname Third Street comes from? Why are you presented as Ryan Third Street Savage Cuse?
Yeah. So Third Street comes from this street that we live on. It has like me and like two of my good friends. My house right here, my best friend's house right here, and one of my good friends' houses right here down the street. So we would all have all our friends over, and it used to be a party every single day. When I told you at that time when I came out from college, the whole street, like a block party every day, and it was like the play was, yo, let's slide a Third Street, let's slide a Third Street, and like I'm a savage, so I became the Third Street Savage. I was thinking of the Savage on Third Street or the Third Street Savage. I went with the Third Street Savage, but anybody in Pines knows where Third Street is, knows about Third Street. That was the spot to be back in the day. Now we chilled out, we grown up, we chilled, but Third Street is Third Street is that block.
So how did you decide between Third Street Savage and the Savage from Third Street? How'd you go with the former?
Oh, I think it just flowed nicer. I was thinking of like, like the Nightmare on Elm Street, the Savage on
Okay.
Third Street, like similar to that. But then I just went with the Third Street Savage because I know there is a lot of savages out there, MMA nicknames, but I mean it's kind of corny. Like everybody's a savage, but I mean Third Street Savage makes me like a little bit more unique to that point because
I
I don't
think
like to
if
be like everybody.
Yeah, no, it fits. I think it fits perfect with the persona, with the character you build around it. Um,
Yeah.
and now over the past 4 months, like I said earlier, we've gone through a lot of ups and downs. And when I met you, it was after the fight in Bahrain. And I think that we promised everybody that we are gonna show a couple of your favorite scenes from the film. So I think I'm gonna go with the intro and give people a little sneak peek as to how the film actually starts. Is that
All
cool?
right, let's do it. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right,
You guys gonna like this shit.
all
Enjoy.
right.
You never know.
You never know what's gonna happen when you're in there. You're walking into the unknown. You don't know if he's gonna come out alive. You don't know if you're gonna come out alive.
Double those jabs up. Don't swing with him. Be efficient. Be efficient.
And that's just the thing. The part about the unknown is like scariest.
Constant ride. Push. Bring the dog up.
Within the first 10 seconds of every round, took him down and just ground and pounded him every single round. And I got damn tired doing damage. I need to work on this more.
So that was the intro to the film. And, one of the hardest parts about filmmaking, I think, is coming up with the title. And I think after our first conversation, you said something about the unknown because the question was, what do you fear? And so I've noticed that, throughout your amateur MMA career, there's a lot of unknowns, but stepping into the ring is probably the biggest one. Can you talk a little bit about that? You good?
So yeah,
No, you good.
yeah. Into the unknown. Yeah,
Can you talk a little bit about stepping into the octagon is probably one of the biggest unknowns. Can you talk a little bit about what goes through your mind and why that's one of your answers to this?
yeah. So like, I don't know when if you know the outcome of anything, it makes it less scary. Like just knowing going in somewhere and knowing not knowing what's gonna happen. Well, I mean, there's variables that go into it, but for the most part, like you could be confident in yourself, but at the end of the day, you still don't know what's gonna happen, and like that part like shakes you up a little bit because you have a lot of crazy thoughts going through your head right before like think about it, there's like 100 variables that could happen, and you're just thinking about all of them, and like the way your mind works is you're always gonna think about the bad ones. Oh, what if this happens? Like what you guys just saw. Like I didn't like I thought about what was about to happen. Like I could have got hit that hard and dropped. It never happened to me. Now it's in my head. Boom, that could happen. Like especially after a fight like that where we were going at it. I think I had the edge on that fight. I could have won. Like it's just you never know what's gonna happen. So your brain's telling you all this crazy stuff, and you're just like, "Oh, am I really gonna do this?" And then eventually, everybody's like, don't do it," and you're like, "I gotta do it," and you're having an argument with your body, like, and then eventually, like, you just go do it, and like, I don't regret it. Like, I don't regret anything that happened in that fight, even though I got dropped. Like, I don't regret it. I know what I gotta tweak, and the unknown is like it gets a little bit more knowing what's gonna happen when you leave them less things for them to happen. Like I should have been tighter right here. I should have been tighter right here. That probably wouldn't have happened. That could have changed up variables. So the better I get, it's leaving like less variables for me to end up in a situation like that. Which I'm grateful for that situation to happen, but it won't happen again.
So how do you uh, change your mindset going forward? How do you prepare better? How do you train? Can you walk us through how things have changed since that fight in Bahrain?
Yeah, like that fight, I like my style like raw, like boom boom bang up top, takedown, and I met my match. Like this kid was a boxer from Kazakhstan. You already know who's from there, Triple G, boxing like crazy boxing. They're I think they took second in the world or first in the world last year in wrestling. So they got crazy boxing and crazy wrestling, and those are my two specialties. I like to box, I like to bang up top, and I like to wrestle, which USA is also up there with them too. But now I could have changed up my game a little bit. I could have he's coming in. He liked to throw that right hand a lot. I could have countered it with a kick. I could have worked my legs more. I could have, I couldn't box him, so I should have changed up my game a little bit more. But I was so what I like to do. I like to bang and I like to wrestle. Now I've been working a lot on my kicks. Like whoever's next is might go and catch a shin to the face, or to the leg, to the body, wherever. And then that will set up my boxing. I'm becoming more unpredictable. Like it doesn't matter how hard you get hit, the one that knocks you out is the one that you don't see coming. And that one I didn't see coming, being it got me. But now ever since that day, I think me now, I'll whoop me back in this day. I'll whoop me.
And that's what it's about. It's about growth. And so you've been training up to this pandemic hit. You'd been training for 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. And with that comes a lot of usage of resources. And I didn't know until I started filming that you know amateur fighters don't get paid for risking their lives every time they step inside the octagon. Can you kind of walk us through, how you make this work for you?
Yeah. Well, I always been a hustler. Inside the cage, outside the cage, I'm a hustle. And like I never like to really work for nobody or nothing. So I always have my little side hustles. I'm always trying to make moves. I'm always trying to make something happen. So I mean, if you work a full-time job, you're not going to be able to train as much as me. So you have to be able to work around, like, for my fights. Like I guarantee, like, as an amateur fighter, I was making more money than, I don't even want to put out numbers, but I was making more money than most pros, most local pros. I guarantee it. I'm not even making a person. I'm making probably double, triple what they're making. But that's just because I was just hustling. Hold up, let me show y'all something. Everybody that's watching already know the vibes. Oh, everybody already knows Third Street, baby. Shout out to everybody that cops my gear. Shout out to
So
everybody that
for
cops my.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say just shout out to everybody that cops my gear. They're keeping the dream alive. They're keeping my business up and running. At the end of the day, this is my company. This is my business, Third Street Savage LLC.
Right. So a lot of people who aren't familiar, I mean, this is how you're able to make a little bit of money in this business as an amateur. And I think that, part of what we're able to show in the film is, how the whole process of how that mask comes to be and how the different shirt designs get to be in. And I just want to thank you because, that's a part that I think when we embarked on this journey, I think that's a part that we wanted to show, right? Everything that people don't get to see, all the hard work behind the athlete that steps in the ring and kicks people's butt in the octagon. Now, a big part of your success also comes from family, both your mom, your dad, your grandpa, your brother. Can you talk a little bit about that support system that keep you motivated, keep you that support you in a sport that a lot of parents would be kind of scared for their son or daughter to participate in.
Yeah, I mean, they support me because like ever since I remember, I always been coming home with black eyes, like always all messed up, like something happened, da da da. So I mean, now that the fact that I could do it in a controlled setting where I don't gotta fight five, six people at once, like I'm not in a setting where I could get hurt, and then I'm doing it for a positive instead of a negative. Like I'm not gonna get in trouble and all this stuff. I think that showed them that like now I'm dedicated to something that I really love to do, and like a lot of it didn't they didn't necessarily like, well, my dad loves it off rip because he was always like me, but my mom and my uncles and my grandma, like a lot of them, I had to show them that I'm really dedicated and that I could do this for a living, because the percentage of the people that make it in the sport is what, less than 1%. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a 1%er. I'm always gonna be a 1%. I'm always gonna be in that club. So I know I'm gonna make it, and my vision shines so bright. I believed in myself so much that when they started seeing it, they started believing in it too, and they just started going. They just started to basically just jumped on the train and just wanted to ride with me all the way to the top.
And so I think one of the most special things that happens in terms of family is that support. And also, I think the day after I met you, y'all invited me to Sunday brunch with the boys. And so I
Yeah.
think that's one of our favorite scenes. And I think I'm going to show it for everybody to see what kind of goes, a little sneak peek at what goes on during Sunday brunches.
Sundays basically like go to the beach, eat with my grandpa, my brother, and my dad.
What's going on, big guy? Nice to see you.
You know what you want?
You need a menu?
Get something healthy.
Keto or healthy?
What's the difference?
It's become a tradition to the point where like you can't skip out on Sundays. You got to be there at 9:30 on Sundays, and we just go. We have a couple good laughs.
The other day, like at the house, and I was like, yo, just cash out me the money. And like, he's like, all right. So I get a notification on my phone, Grandpa requested $100 from me. I'm like, what? He requested money instead of paying me.
He's learning how to use Cash App.
For Christmas.
Some egg white omelet, and some fruit. Got about 26 pounds to go before fight day.
Give me all the carbs.
Kenny D's.
That's fuel right there.
Just feta cheese on the inside.
On the count of three. 1, 2. One more. 1, 2.
So that was a Sunday brunch. Sunday brunch with the boys. Is there anything you would like to say about every Sunday morning and kind of let viewers know what the vibe is?
Yeah, these people are a trip. That's like 3 generations of Kuse family right there. The OG, the Don, and my dad and me and my brother. Like every Sunday, it's always a different laugh, a different story, and different. It's fun. It's good. They're fun. I'm glad we get to do it. Because if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't see each other as much. So I mean, it's I enjoy. I enjoy it. Eat some good food, have some good laughs, like you guys just seen.
So you have the good laughs, and then it's always Monday comes and it's time to get back to work. And I think one of the things that I still even have questions about is how as an MMA fighter do you rationalize stepping into that octagon knowing that anything can happen? I want to know, and I think everybody wants to know, what drives you to become a champion, to strive to make it to UFC, to make it to the next level.
I mean, what drives me is just to be real. Like I don't know. I just want to be free so bad, financially free, just everything, just doing what I love, and just getting filthy rich off of it, and just being able to live my life to the fullest. That's like really what I want to do. Like if I want to be on a yacht today, I want to be on a yacht. If I want to, train with John Danaher in New York tomorrow just for the weekend, sure, fly over there. I want to be able to have my family set. I want to be able to, for me to be set, for me to have so much fun in this life that like I like wouldn't trade this shit for the world. And for me to do that, if this is just the beginning of it, start off my legacy, start off just going all out, winning fights, and for like I don't know, I don't want to sound cocky, but I just like nowadays, like I just believe in myself so much. I just think I got what it takes to do it. I just know I got what it takes, and I see people my weight. Yeah, they're like only people I'm really nervous about a little bit is like the top 5 in the UFC. Like I'm gonna have a little bit of trouble, but until I get there, I'm just gonna just beat all these boys up and just take names, like collect heads.
But apart from the monetary, we've had conversations where it goes beyond the money. It goes beyond everything that you can have in life. Can you expand on what the intrinsic value of what it means to you to just push yourself in the sport?
Yeah, I mean, just to like I mean, just I mean, like, what do you mean? Like,
It goes. We've had conversations where it's about being a better fighter, a better person, a better.
yeah, yeah,
It's always taking you to the next step because the monetary. There's a scene where the Lamborghini comes in, and you talk about about achieving the monetary things through the passive income, right? But so it goes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think your love for the sport, and correct me if I'm wrong, is beyond whatever money it can bring you, but rather.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, of course. The joy that it brings me just by fighting and just by just seeing myself improve. That too, yeah. I just love seeing myself get better. Like it makes me happy when I'm like, holy shit, like I couldn't do that 6 months ago. Oh my God, like I couldn't do that not even a week ago. Now I'm doing all this stuff. Like I love just improving myself as a person, as a fighter, just all around, just getting myself better, like broadening my knowledge of the sport, broadening my knowledge of life, just growing as a person. I love that feeling. I love it so much.
And it's a feeling that transitioning to kind of the past 2 months of your career, it's a feeling that has been taken away in the sense that you haven't been able to fight. Can you talk a little bit about, you're supposed to fight February 19th, I believe, at XFN, Extreme Fighting Nation,
Yeah, yeah.
and that didn't happen. Can you talk a little bit about why we haven't seen Ryan Kuse in the octagon in the past few months?
Well, as you guys know, I was supposed to do my last amateur fight against Team Colombia, which I'm wearing a Colombian jersey right now. Shout out to them. But yeah, Trump had it set up where they couldn't come over, whatever, with the visa. I don't even know. So that fight got canceled. Then they wanted me to set me up with some Cuban dude, whatever. I wasn't trying to waste my time with that. So then that's when we decided to go pro. And then boom, this whole situation happens. So I haven't been in the octagon since my Bahrain trip in November. But like we were talking about earlier, like you feel me? My car got so many miles on it. I'm not trying to waste my miles on stuff that's not going to take me anywhere. I'm not trying to waste my miles going in circles. If my miles ain't going forward, my car's not running. So if I'm not taking the next step, get better to better my career, I'm not trying to waste my gas on these bumps.
Right. And so I think I want to show people what has been missing in the octagon. We have that other scene where you just kick everybody's butt in the octagon. So I'm going to play that next. And I just want to let everybody watching right now that if you have questions for Ryan, I am seeing the Q&A live. So if you have questions, drop them in the comment section and I'll leave a couple minutes at the end for Ryan to answer all your questions. But right now,
Yeah,
Ryan's favorite fighting scene.
yeah. This was me, Savage Days.
The reason why I do it, I feel like this is my gift. This is why I was put on this earth to fight. I just go into my mode where I just blank out everything. I feel nothing. I feel no pain. I feel no fear. I feel no anxiety. I feel nothing. I don't even hear the crowd.
You got a great work there. Nice job.
Not fighting to win, but fighting to be my best fighter, the best fighter I can be, is what makes me win.
By unanimous decision, the winner, and fighting out of the blue corner, Ryan.
So, what do you miss most about the octagon? Now that you've seen that scene, you haven't been in for a while. What's that feeling that you miss the most?
Yeah, I just like miss that feeling of my knuckles going into somebody's teeth, bing, with the little gloves. Like that's a good feeling. That's punching somebody with those gloves feels better than like punching somebody with boxing gloves. Just you get a good little feeling off of it.
Well, and I'm not sure if people watching saw the venues that you're fighting in. They're about to be a lot different because you've decided to turn pro. Can you talk a little bit about how hard it was? I mean, I was present. We were able to film it. The exact moment you decide to turn pro. Can you talk us through what was going through your head?
I was just I was just like nervous to a point, but like just when you're about to level up, like if you're not getting nervous, are you even leveling up? So like I was about to really like turn from basically being a college student, like metaphorically speaking, to like getting my job in what I love to do. Like I said, and like it's like a doctor about to graduate doctor school and get the job in the hospital is like that same feeling. Cause that's how I'm feeling right now. And now I'm to the point where even though I haven't had my pro fight, just by the fact that like I just been telling everybody I'm a pro, it just makes me feel so much better. Like when you tell people you're amateur, and they don't know if you take it that serious. When you say you're a pro, it's like, all right, now it's go time. Like now I'm stepping up from JV to big boys.
To varsity. And how are you staying in shape during this extended period? I mean, you're supposed to go pro March 17th,
Yeah.
and we're supposed to film that too. So it's been two fights during this project that we haven't been able to get for circumstances other than ours. How do you stay in shape for what's next? Whenever that opportunity comes, how are you going to take advantage of it? How are you staying ready?
I mean, I just been not doing too much grappling, but I've been just doing a lot of bag work and weightlifting. So I'm gonna be a little bit strong, but everything's gonna come back like clockwork. I haven't sparred in fucking a month or however long we've been trapped. That's one thing I'm itching to do. I want to get my timing back because hitting the bag all day, it's not punching you back. Like working out is not really gonna set up the same thing as a double leg until you're getting sprawled on, until they're punching back at you, until they're kicking you in your body is when I'm start getting the timing back. But what I'm just doing right now is just maintaining and just like sharpening up whatever I have back. Now, the second I step back in the gym is when I start getting my timing back and start just like expanding my game and feeling how it feels to do it on an actual person, regard as opposed to a leather bag.
So now that you've turned pro, what is different from being amateur? What changes in your life?
To be real, I've been training as a pro since I started training. Like ever since I started taking it serious, I've been training just like a pro, three to four times a day, like in the gym all day. Nothing's really gonna change. Like ever since I came to the goat shed, shout out to them, all the goats. I just basically had my pro schedule to the point where we train smarter, not harder, and we train hard as fuck. But we train smart to the point where we're gonna stay healthy. We got our injury prevention coach, shout out Mateo. We got our head coach, shout out Awesome Zadias, the best coach. I don't care what nobody says, that's the best coach in the world, and we're gonna prove it to y'all that that's it. Like I've been training as a pro for a minute, and I just need to get in these lights just so I could get on the contender, get in Bellator, get in anything, just so I could show everybody like this is what we really do.
Yeah. And is there anything in terms of finances or any other obstacles that are presented once you become professional? Does that part of your life change as well?
Not that much. It's just a lot more doors are gonna open. A lot of people are gonna want me to represent their businesses, so sponsorship opportunities. Once I get on TV, a lot more sponsorship opportunities and just a lot more promo, a lot more people are gonna want to reach out to me, and I think it's just gonna be a lot more connections, and just basically right now, just a lot more of it. It's like right now I got a couple sponsors that are like, you feel me, there for me. I got like people that look out for me, but once I make it pro, once I make it to the big leagues, it's gonna be a lot more of everything.
So those were all the questions I had in our follow up. But is there something that you want to let everybody watching, everybody that supports you, all your fans, is there something you want to let them know? Something that you want to share?
I just want to let you guys know. I mean, I don't show my feelings that much, but everybody that's watching, I want to say I love you guys. You guys, keep my business running. You guys are supporting me since day one, and I'll never forget. Basically, everybody that supported me from the jump, I'm always gonna have their back no matter what.
And
That's how I roll.
And I wanted to just thank you for the past 4 months. And we still have a couple things, right? We got the pro fight, we got the weight cut that we want to film. So we still have a couple
Yeah.
things to take care of. But I also want to, give a huge shout out to the Goat Shed, who from day one accepted me as, one more in the camp, and to everybody
Yeah.
inside the Goat Shed that let me film while they were doing their jobs, and to thank you, man, for everything that you've allowed me to film. So thank you, bro.
Yeah. I thank you. I thank you too for everything you did. This is gonna be when we have the watch party. It's gonna be one for the books.
And everybody that's watching right now, everybody that follows Ryan and myself, they'll all be invited, and hopefully it'll be a cool event. I think we'll be happy with the end result.
We'll
So
pop some champagne.
and do another video. Well, Ryan, if that's it from my end. If you have a few parting words, I mean, we'll go from there.
Yeah, I just wanna tell everyone, shout out to all you guys, shout out to everybody on Third Street, shout out to Goat Shed, shout out to everybody that believes in me, and that's it.
Word. And there you have it. Ryan, Thirsty Savage Kuse. Thank you all for tuning in, and hopefully the film will be out, because that'll mean Ryan fought his first pro fight. So thank you all, and
Yep.
until next time.
Peace.